one page on the back.
Right.
So are these petitions for Richmond Heights candidates single sheets, or are they?
Yes, and if somebody will remind you, I can actually bring in my set. I can show you what they look like.
You know, actually, that might be a good thing for us to have for discussion.
Yes.
That would be a good thing to have something just as a visual that we're discussing, I think.
Okay. And by the way, that guy that some of you met, Sherman, in 2009, he was also going to run for council at large, and that's what happened to him.
Oh.
His petitions were thrown out because he did not have the signatures. Okay, thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Good luck to you.
Hey.
Let's go back to the regular agenda. And let's have the minutes of the next meeting, please.
What?
Richmond Heights Charter Review Committee minutes, Tuesday, June 10, 2014. The meeting was open at 6:05 p.m. with the Pledge of Allegiance. Chair Drummond stated that Daniel Padu was unable to attend today's meeting and asked for a motion to excuse Ms. Padu. Shanina Williams so moved and Elliot Eisenberg seconded. The motion passed. Chair Drummond had opening remarks that David Lynch would not be in attendance to today's meeting and read a letter to the committee from David Lynch. The minutes were read and Elliot Eisenberg moved that they be approved as read. Arnetta Parker second. The vote passed. The chair entered 3 items into the record. A copy of the letter dated March 25, 2014 that was sent to council for approval for David Lynch to serve as general legal counsel for the committee. Elliot Eisenberg moved that the letter be accepted. Jadina Williams second. The motion passed. Now, second item, a copy of the email sent April 8, 2014 to council clerk as a follow-up to the March 25, 2014 letter. Elliot Eisenberg moved that the email be accepted. Jadina Williams second. The motion passed. The third item, a copy of the letter submitted by David Lynch to no longer sit as advisement to the committee. Elliot Eisenberg moved. Jadina Williams second. The motion passed. Elliot Eisenberg raised the question whether it is legal for this committee to function without legal counsel. Stanley Johnson responded that there is no problem. However, he is not versed in this particular area of law. Dwayne Cockrum stated that the council is to vote this evening on the contract to bring Walter Haverfield in temporarily, and that entities will be working with Ms. Finley, the labor attorney. I think I spelled her name right. The discussion opened from the draft items for recommended changes to place the issues in priority order. Employment issues were tabled. The items that were placed into priority order: public bidding, change swearing-in date, sign off on contracts, majority of council, chief of police, top 5 candidates, amendment dates and compliance, term limits, full-time, part-time position of the mayor, removal from office, language for absent from municipality, oath of office, and council president should be elected from the realm of council. It was suggested that the committee begin meeting for an additional day or stay an hour longer, beginning with the June 17th meeting. It was agreed on by the committee. The floor was open to the public. Vita Habjan, Richmond Heights resident, wanted to know what the line items were that the committee referred to during the discussion of the priority issues. It was explained to her that the issues were previously discussed and numbered. Those were the line item numbers being referred to. She also asked if David Lynch was still sitting with the committee. The response, no. The next meeting is Tuesday, June 17, 2014, beginning at 6 p.m. Stanley Johnson moved that the meeting be adjourned. Elliot Eisenberg second. The motion passed. The meeting was adjourned at 7:05 p.m. Humbly submitted, respectfully submitted. Just forget it. Stephanie Douglas.
Okay, any corrections? Motion? Okay. Elliot has made the motion that it be accepted in the manner in which they were given. Need a second?
I second.
Good. Okay.
Vote. Vote.
Oh, second. Vote on the, all in favor of minutes as read?
Aye. Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Okay. Last meeting, I was working out some other stuff, and we had the papers showed the items that we were looking at. If you can get those out. I did a little work on the side. Everybody ready? Okay. The big new format is good. But here we go. I had it starting on number 2. It was on page 15. Looks like N1 and page 16, item 2.
So,
That's in the charter.
Please forgive me.
These are charter
I'm not
items.
sure what we're talking about.
Are we on the draft items?
Okay, good. Nobody-
yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to the
Okay.
draft,
The
to
draft
the draft
items.
items
Okay.
and putting the sections in.
The
So it should be the
article
article
sections,
sections
Okay.
for the piece that you put together.
Gotcha.
We can just fill it in
Just fill it in if you want.
as we go along here.
Okay?
Okay, okay.
Okay, well, I need a copy of that.
Oh,
I think-
fine.
Well, you,
But,
No,
no,
it's
it's
in
in a
a
different
different
one.
Oh, you don't
Yeah.
have this.
She wants
Here,
to try.
share with me.
Okay.
All right. Oh, here, I have an extra one.
You have an extra one?
I have an extra one. Anybody else need a copy? Okay.
So that's article,
Okay.
number 2 is Article 6.
Public bidding
2 is what now? Number 2 is
is page 15.
page 15.
Yeah.
All right.
Article 6, Section
Yeah.
3N,
And 1.
N1.
Yeah. But that, it's 6. I didn't put 6. I screwed up a little.
So it's Article 6 in 1.
Section 3, N1.
Section 3 in 1.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
It's under Director of Finance.
This is working out good because I've got part and you all have part, and we'll get the right numbers this way. So that's good. All right. Number 3, I've got under Article 5, Section 1.
Swearing in.
So Article 3 is,
Number 3, should the
that's
swearing
swearing in. Okay.
Swearing date. Article 5, Section 1.
Article 5.
It's 5? It's 5 for
Article
5.
Section 1.
Room 5.
Can I make a suggestion, please?
Yes.
Since we've already gone over our priority list, can we and not do it from here, but just do it from the priority list?
I just got that priority list this evening and I've got marked on
He's
it.
Oh,
got it
I
marked
got
on
you.
there.
He's
Yeah.
marked it all.
Okay.
He's got
I
it marked
you.
on there, so we
Okay.
gotta plug it in here.
Yeah, so we're just plugging it in.
All right, no
Yeah.
problem.
All right, number 4, the signing off, is Roman numeral 5, Section 5.
Sign off.
Article 5,
Which one is it?
Section 5. Mayor's authority to sign off on
Oh,
contracts.
okay, so that's what again?
Article 5,
Article
Section
5,
Section 5.
Section 1. Okay.
I don't have anything on number 5. It's a majority of council.
I
because
think we tabled.
There are a bunch of,
Yeah, it's 3 of them together,
yeah.
Yes.
and they're all over.
It's all over.
They're all over the
4,
place.
5,
Is
6,
number
12,
4
all
on,
together.
On the sheet.
on the sheet,
It's
on the
number 4
grid?
on the sheet, but it's all over the charter.
Yeah. See, what's happening actually, once we do this, then we know which sections,
Right,
and then you're only talking one
2 words.
thing on the ballot, which would encompass
All of
2
them.
items. or 3
Mhm.
items.
Or one item that encompasses multiple sections, like the
Right.
majority.
Okay.
If
The
you
chief of
wanna mark
police,
your-
number
your
6.
Your sheet's 4, the way we had it is 4, 7, and 12. 4, 7, and 12
Okay,
were coupled.
all right. I got
But already we have
That's
3
it, okay.
items that's under section, Article 5.
Yeah, but, and
Uh-huh,
once we
so-
walk through it, it'll
Yes,
all fall.
And what
yes.
happens is it'll come together, it'll make it easier
Yes.
to figure out what we have to do. Now, the chief of police, number 6, is Article Roman numeral 6, Section 4.
Article 6.
Section
That's at the bottom, minimum priority.
4. Number 7. Number 7 is no majority of votes for mayor.
That's part of 4.
And
4,
it's
7,
actually-
and
it's a-
13.
It's actually 5, Article 5, Section 1.
So which one is that on the priority sheet?
Section 3.
Can we, if we do this list as Stanley has done it,
Mhm.
then we go back.
Back and plug it in.
plug it
Right.
into the second, otherwise we're jumping.
Yes.
Okay.
This is-
Okay.
This
We'll
is
do it
just a
that way.
stop.
Right,
It's
okay.
Trying to stop something from jumping.
Mhm.
Number 8.
Number 8, I don't have it.
That wasn't
Oh,
actually
that
an
was,
article, that was,
That
That
was
was,
in the,
yeah.
that was in the index or something.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was Article
What happened was.
8, Article 8,
Yeah.
Section 2.
Okay, let's put that in. Okay. Then term limits was Article 4, Section 1B.
1B.
B is in baby.
Oh, this.
Should be?
B. B as in boy, B as in
Okay.
baby.
My ears are,
Yeah, I
they're
thought I
really
heard D
going,
too.
they're going
I
fast.
talk kind of slow, so I'm sorry. Okay, the mayor's budget, number 10, is Section 6, J2.
Article 6, J2.
Yeah. I don't have anything for 11. Article, on 12, Article 5, Mary speaks for itself. And Article 5 is Article 5.
That's Article 5,
Yeah.
term limits. What section?
I think that's it.
Or is it the whole thing? Let's take a quick look.
It's section
Term-
1.
Term of office,
Article 5, Section 1.
section 1. Okay. All right.
All right, the supermajority, 5 sevens versus 4 sevens. One of the sections is in Article 6, Section 2. And the next 3 are all removals.
Article 4,
Is that
Section
where it is?
12.
Yeah, it was Article
Article
5.
4?
That was my part. Most of that was all Article 5.
So you-
And Article 5, Section 7, and it started at B for vacancy.
B?
B?
Yes, B
Okay.
is in boy,
Okay.
yes.
And that's
Started
Article-
section,
Article 4.
Section 7.
That's different.
Okay, but that's vacancy in the office of mayor is where it started at. And then you go, when you go to B for vacancy, and you read on over to page 13 was the
Removal.
13 and 8. Well, there were two different things, you guys, when we were talking about this language, the removal of the mayor, there was two things. One was if the mayor goes to another city, are they no longer the mayor? That was one thing.
That's gotta be.
Then the second thing was if the removal, that when they talk about the mayor could be removed for any reason pretty much, and had so many days to protest, but they were still removed while they were still trying to, it was the language of removal. So section 8, so it was section 7B and then section 8. You get what I'm saying? Because there were two different things.
But it's
Article
Article 5,
Article
7B,
5,
and 8.
Section, yes, 7B and then section 8.
Section 8. Article 5, section 7B and 8.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, 17, 18, and 19, I have scratched out. There were
Well, that's oath of office.
That's an oath of
pretty hard to
office.
change.
They're really not gonna change that much.
And live broadcasts,
That's not in there.
we put that in the parking lot anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what
thing that
the
we had
chairman
was,
wanted to add.
The one on the next page was the part.
That was her
20,
article, yeah.
which was,
Section
Article
5,
Section 7. And it's in the absence, because we have the situation where the president council, as the mayor steps across the border into another city, the president council has authority to take over the way the president.
And that's Article 5, Section 1.
No, that's Article 5, Section 7.
Section 7.
Right, under absence. 7A, Article 5, Section 7A.
7.
Okay, that's specific. Now you can see how these things have localized. They're all 4s, 5s, and 6s, and 1 8. And the rest of the sections are not involved at this point. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't something in those sections I have to take a look at. But I think that we've kind of narrowed everything down at this point in time, where we don't have to really pay a whole lot of attention to those other articles. This also helps us to keep from BSing the citizens with too many items.
Yes.
So we will be able to combine a lot of these. We're probably looking at maybe a total of 4 items.
Through the chair?
Maybe 5, yeah.
I thought about something that we did not talk about last week that we did discuss being a priority, was changing the language in the contract. I mean, I'm sorry, not the contract, the language in the charter where there was a lot of sexist language so that it could be more politically correct, and we did not mention that, yes.
I think we, at the point that we were discussing that,
I mean, I just don't want that to get lost in all of this.
there was something,
We kind of,
we covered it because of Article 15. And I'm sorry.
But we don't even have it on our
No,
on the
and
priorities and everything.
No, and there was a reason, because at one point, when we were discussing it,
It's Article 15, Section 5.
I know that we said to just make a blanket statement up front.
yeah, up
that-
front, we
Oh,
talked
Something
I thought
up
it,
front, yeah.
here I have marked Article 3, we would create a Section 3.
Add a section.
Article
up front.
3, form of government and powers, has Section 1, Section 2, and that we would add a Section 3, which would refer to gender neutral,
Okay.
have the gender neutral statement.
Okay.
That's Roman numeral 3.
I know I was just hoping the priority list that would still be reflected.
Okay, a lot of that stuff is taken in that Article 5, miscellaneous. You know, we really haven't gone into that much. Okay. Now, we're gonna try to fit some of it into the new sheet that we have.
yep,
Yeah, I didn't write it down.
I did already.
The hiring termination process, I didn't have a setup on that.
we didn't
Oh,
have that.
we didn't talk about it.
And you want swearing date changed, and that is,
Is it Article 5, Section
Article
1?
5, Section 1.
okay. contracts.
5, section 5.
Okay. Majority, supermajority, is 6.
Section 2.
6, section 2.
Okay, term limits,
Article 4, section 1B.
Article, is that 4(1)B?
Yes.
language for removal of the mayor.
Article 5, section B and section 8.
Yeah.
7B.
Yes,
7B.
7B and section 8.
Absent from the municipality is
Article 5,
Item 5,
section 7A.
7. I don't have, does anybody have the number on the council president?
Well, it's the same thing.
That was something Dwayne wanted added as a priority. Yeah. I don't know. That's in.
So then that
Well,
would
there
go-
is a section though.
So
There is
there-
a
for
section
council,
about
would
it.
be Article 4.
This was section.
Yeah.
There's a section about it,
Yeah,
how he's elected by.
it's Article 4.
Section 11.
Okay.
President of council.
Okay, so instead of it saying elected by the people at large, it would say something to the effect elected by the other council members.
You gotta watch.
Yeah, it
You-
means
you
a lot they have to
You have
change.
to do a double, because otherwise you eliminate the at-large portion. So what it has to do, it has to read that the president of the council will no longer be considered the president of the council. He will remain at large. The president of the council will be voted for by all members of the council.
That's if we
From
decide-
the choices of council at large, which there would be 3 of.
No, from all council.
From all
members.
council.
All council.
Yeah. You don't have to be at large to
Right.
be elected president.
We're trying to eliminate that.
Right.
What we're trying to do is just have the council people, period, even the large people, to select who they want the president to be. That's what I
I see,
see.
it's too limited because there are only, what, 2 or 3
Right.
at-larges.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just wondering.
That would be playing a
I'm
game
just
if
questioning
we-
the legality of that, because
We'll
whenever
discuss it when we discuss it.
whenever I've read that on, other charters, it's always been where they pick,
And at
all
large.
of council votes on who they want to be council president by choosing who it is that's from council at large.
From council at large.
Yeah, but you got 2 of them.
That's no good, you can't do that in a small town.
There's only 2
Okay.
people would ever be able to be president.
Yeah. But instead, if you open it to 7 or 9, whatever the council member is.
But that couldn't change until the next election cycle.
But what it does is open up the presidency to anybody. It's.
I know, I'm just wondering
We
about the
probably have to
legality
get
of
a
that.
legal opinion of
It's
it,
gonna
but
be a legal opinion.
of all of this,
Right.
before it goes forward, we get a legal opinion on everybody,
Yes.
everything.
Well, that's the reason why they were trying to hire the election.
And that's all, again, this all got, we have to decide whether or not these are priorities for us. You know, whether it shows up or not. Right now, it's just in our discussion stage. We're still talking about it. Really, do we want this to bubble up at some point in time to be voted upon by the public? We all have to decide that.
But
We all-
guess what? Based on what we're doing right now,
Mhm.
other than the oath of office and we did not discuss for various reasons anything on hiring and termination.
Mhm.
We only are looking at 3 articles.
Yeah.
Everything is 5, 6, or 4.
Uh-huh.
And that's normal. I've went back and done research on previous elections, and 4 is a lot. Usually it's 3 to 4.
Mhm.
And like Stanley said, one item or issue on the ballot can touch multiple sections. So if we have 2 good ones, that's okay too.
Sure. Whatever,
Well, I'm saying
whatever
right
it
now, it
takes.
looks like we have 3.
And that's good.
That makes it easier
Mhm.
all the way around.
No.
Well, no, where is, yeah, because guess what? Even the council, the section on council president,
Mhm.
that's Article 6. Wait a minute, I may be wrong. Or is it? No, it's 4, Article 4.
4,
I'm sorry.
11.
Section
Article
11.
4.
Yeah.
Which still, that's still 4, 5, and
Article
6. Article 4, Section 11. Okay, so it's still.
What about the mayor's position, full-time and part-time?
Couldn't find that in
It's not.
it's not
I looked at it
verbalized,
twice.
it's not.
I said, maybe I'm missing it.
Well, they came up with an ordinance that says it's part-time, didn't they?
But remember what one of our legal advisors said, that sometime the charter refers to an ordinance, so maybe we don't see it in the charter, but because we don't know. Remember when Tyrone brought in that big stack of.
Well, that's what she was saying, they voted on it, and
So it's
their
not in
vote
the charter.
was that it's a
Unless it
part-time
was.
position in order to
So
eliminate
it's not in the
benefits.
charter,
I think the safety director is the one that has the health insurance with it.
But the mayor is the safety director.
Right, and I think they considered that a part-time position, which is why they didn't give her
Right,
the.
his part-time
The
position.
benefits.
Right. We'd have to probably look for both of them.
Or we could just,
We could-
just, you want to play a game with one of these things, just have it set up for her to, for whoever the mayor is to have her hospitalization date.
I don't know if we can make that call.
Definitely not in the charter.
Yeah,
Because
that-
I will tell you that council has the
Yeah,
authority to make whatever ordinance they want.
yeah.
Yeah, except that if it's in the charter, they can't go against the charter.
Yeah, but at the same time, it opens up the door for other part-timers to acquire benefits
That's
that
correct.
we'd have to consider. That opens up a whole nother can. Right now, if you deal strictly with full-time versus part-time, that's what we should be considering.
We need
Is
to do some
the
research.
job
Let me ask
full-time
you
or
a question.
part-time?
Right. We need to do some research about that. To be totally honest, we need to look, because I don't know if we did that, and all of us should probably commit to the cities that we looked at, you guys. We should all look at that and say, with this number of residents, do the majority of the cities our size, and considering all that we have, that we're trying to accomplish, is this a part-time
Right.
or a full-time position?
Exactly.
That's what I think we need to look at.
That's a tough
We should make
thing
that
to look at
because
also.
it's a very good statement.
No, just comparing, just
Yeah.
doing
Just
computer
I'm
research.
just saying, because of not having certain employees,
Yeah,
our mayor has really been working a full-time job.
right.
Well, even without having, let's say, a staff, directors on board. Think about the things so many mayors have to do to acquire. Our mayor was just in here talking about the meetings and state meetings, the county meetings that to attend just to get money and programs to Richmond Heights. that were basically not thought about, it was just abdicated, that they weren't participated in. Richmond Heights was not represented. In my opinion.
I agree with you, but why wasn't it? And we have to look at the bigger picture. Because first of all, let's just be totally
Exactly.
honest. I couldn't live off of $16,000 either. So I would have to work. So if I was your mayor, you would get $15,000 worth. And I'm sitting here to tell you all, as a nurse with a part-time job making $15,000, that's not a lot of hours that I would have to put in.
Exactly
So we need to look at that. So you can't go to the meetings, because it was my understanding that our previous mayor had a full-time job. So this was considered a part-time job. So I'm just saying we're gonna get out what we put in. So it creates this type of environment.
But I think the difference is that the prior mayor, whether it was because he had a full-time job or was just lazy, he didn't attend these outside meetings.
Exactly.
The current mayor is now attending those outside meetings.
I hear you, but I'm telling
But
you,
it's not
if
just
the
a
current,
mayor, it's not just a mayor. We have the Hillcrest Business
That's
Association
right.
Conference, which encompassed all Hillcrest communities. We did not have a representative
And
at
I
that,
understand
and that's a
that.
community. I just talked to a resident who was upset because Richmond Heights does not participate in the consortium for the age.
We're saying the same thing, you guys.
I know,
Everything that I'm
but
saying
it's not just a mayor.
It's a lot of stuff, but as long as it's a part-time position, because heavens forbid, if our current mayor gets into a situation where she has to go back to work, then she will be a part-time mayor. She wouldn't be able to put the time in. It is what it is in the environment that we live in. The things that are going on it's not some little rural town. Are we at the point now where a part-time mayor cannot sustain the city efficiently?
We're all saying the same thing, basically.
Right.
And last week I talked about salary versus other things, and just to get people on board to thinking about the position being a full-time position. We have a chief of police. He's full-time.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of stuff going on in the city of Richmond Heights. We need the city of police. Who's running the city? Who does the chief of police report to?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then you look
And all the
at our
department
chief.
heads.
There you are. You look at our chief of fire, Chief Newman. He's full-time.
All the department heads are full-time.
Report to?
These guys are all paid $90,000 a year.
And they're here. They're checking in with their team on Saturdays and Sundays. I see their cars. You do too. Our finance director. Last week I was going to Home Depot. The finance director, who's a new person, his car was out here on Sunday. And who does he report to? The mayor. What I'm saying is we need to be thinking on a larger picture. Richmond Heights has changed over the last 30 years, and certainly the last 15 years. And so we need to reconsider the status of the mayor. I seriously do not believe it is a part-time job any longer.
Actually, I don't say reconsider the status of the mayor. I said we need to reconsider the needs of the community.
Well, the needs of in conjunction with the needs of the community.
Right.
I agree
That's
with
a
you.
whole
Yeah, yeah.
different conversation.
It is. You know, there's certain things that the community needs, and the visible mayor is part of it.
One of them.
It just doesn't gel the same way. So I just.
You also have a secondary problem, like your present mayor, I believe, teaches school. And she does that on Fridays. You know, so she can't afford to give that up
Yeah.
for many reasons.
Exactly,
Right,
but she teaches school. She teaches school, and after school, Many a days, Fridays, I've passed by here, or I've gotten a call and said, hey, I need a little help. Or her car is out there, and I've said, oh my goodness.
But in all honesty,
Right?
to be full-time, she wouldn't have to give that up, because full-time in most fields is considered 40 plus, or 36 plus. And we know she would, any mayor will put that in, that's worth their weight. I'm
If
sure
they're
they're
doing their job.
putting it in now at
If they're doing
SASA.
their job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But what are we looking to accomplish? Calling it a full-time position, or calling it a full-time position with a compensation package of such, such, and such, and such?
No, just
I mean,
a full-time position.
That's a question.
Well, and
Well,
you're dead on, and that was my comment last week.
Well,
You
there-
can't put the compensation on. That's a
Two
different
different-
issue.
Two different.
Let it get to what it needs to get to as we move along. But
Right.
right now, my mindset is that it's a full-time position.
See, what
But the-
has to happen, council has to go to the pay, that type of thing.
Right.
They're the board of directors,
Right.
and they say what your executives get paid. Okay, you can say that that position should be full-time. We have the authority to do that as a charter.
That's another issue too.
We have three communities within 5 minutes of here. We have Lyndhurst, we have Highland Heights, we have South Euclid, for heaven's sake. How difficult is it to find, I'm very confident that Lyndhurst is a full-time position.
It is.
Without any question. I'm pretty confident that Highland Heights is as well. I can't even believe we're spending, why would we even have conversation about this? It has to be a full-time position.
I think the bigger question is are those cities, is it stated in some form or fashion in their charter?
Well,
And
it is.
maybe
I
that
asked
would-
Well, the thing about it is, the charter presently spells out that it's a part-time position, I believe. As long as,
I don't know.
I was trying to find.
So that's my question, is it a charter item specifically?
tried to. It is? What? I was in the charter.
And if it is not in the charter, should it be, and is it?
We put it in. We try to get it in.
It doesn't say anything about it.
It does.
says
It doesn't.
commencing with
It doesn't
municipal
address it. It
election.
doesn't.
So the
It
next-
doesn't have it in.
Doesn't have-
So
doesn't,
the
and that's
next,
what we're saying.
the
We
next
wanna put it
question
in there.
is, the cities that do have full-time mayors, as an example or as something that we can refer to, how do they state it? How is it handled? Does it have to be in the charter? I'm not saying I'm opposed to it being in the charter, but is this something that the other cities that have full-time mayors have it stated in their charter, or do they are they working with a council that is reasonably thinking?
It's probably the latter.
Probably a
Yeah.
combination
Probably
of the
And I think
latter.
that's why I'm a little perturbed, because a lot of the things I believe we're discussing is because we're dealing with so much
A
dysfunction.
specific situation, right.
Right, no question. Which
We're
is true.
reacting instead of,
Right.
we're reacting to the things that are being put in front of us in a hostile environment. And that's not a good way to look at a charter, because we're reacting to the current people, the current situation.
I would agree with you 150%.
It's making our
However,
job very hard.
because, you know, guys know, you've been hearing me say it for months now, because it is what it is, and because the needs are what they are, that's maybe what we need to look at.
Where we are.
That's where we are. So if we need to look at putting it in, if that's the only way it's going to be, there's only two ways that can change. And the one way is, you know, depends on what you're, based on your conversation, putting in, if different people are elected with different mindset, but that's a 4-year change versus what we need to do now.
Can I be excused for a minute and a half to make a phone call?
Sure.
It's about this, but
Mhm.
it's not a personal call.
Whatever.
No, I'm gonna find out all members right now.
Okay.
Did Mr. Lynch ask to be excused tonight? No, you
Mr.
weren't
Lynch
here
is no
then.
longer
Sitting
with us.
He's no longer sitting
Oh,
with us.
she missed that. You know, we got a letter.
You didn't listen to her minutes.
Yes, I did.
I got a question.
The
Statement.
minutes were
If we consider
last week.
making the mayor's job a full-time job,
Oh, I heard that he wrote a
how
letter,
are we
but I
gonna get
didn't
it
hear
to the
the
community
specifics.
to make them accept this idea, because it's been a part-time job all along? So we have to find some way to influence the people of the community that it is a full-time position. Otherwise, we're gonna just be wasting our time. If it's been done for however many years, 24 years, where it's been a part-time, it's gonna be difficult
For the
for
past,
them to vote on.
excuse me, for the past 24 years, it's been a part-time position, and it's been accepted by the city officials, the city workers and everything, and it was to everyone's satisfaction, because that mayor sat there with blinders on. He didn't have to do anything, because council did his
Council
job
did.
for
We
him.
said council.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it kept everybody happy, and that's why the city has turned to CRAP.
But we know that the council ran the
Yes.
city. What I'm saying now is that because all the dissension and stuff that's in the air, and a lot of people criticizing the mayor's administration, now will they think in terms, okay, does she need more time to do what somebody else done? Not knowing that the mayor didn't do anything, the council ran the show.
Right.
So, you know, what can we do? Because otherwise, you know, it ain't gonna work, I don't think. I mean, I hope it does. I believe it's a full-time position. I really do. But what can we do to convince the community that it's a full-time position?
So,
Well, I think that comes into play with any item that we put on for the voters to approve or not. I don't know if it's up to us or who would be the conveyor of the message, but any item that goes on the ballot, information has to be disseminated to the residents. I mean, of course, the language has to be simple enough where they can read it and say, this is what it's about. That's the gist of it.
The lady who was reporting yesterday, I mean, that would be a good thing for her. If she's doing all the negative, that would be a good positive to indicate what the mayor's job is and why maybe she might need to have a full-time position, but she's not going to do that. I know that.
I'm gonna say, what's that VA commercial?
What you just stated is exactly what we're reaching for, and that is the correct language. Our job is to put these things forward, and hopefully we oversee the language, making it simple that people can understand the need and reason why it's there. But at the same time, it's going to be up to, I don't know, we can advise the mayor that it needs some kind of marketing or publicity or whatever the case may be.
That's the problem, and I don't think we're going to get it.
I don't know that we're going to get it, but it's...
We can do it.
We
We must educate. We can do it.
It's
The reality-
an educational piece in the
Right.
language that we
Right.
put together as
What
well.
about growth in the community? I mean, that would be something actually, because I don't see it here, though. Growth in the community would be one of the things people would look at.
Sure.
Thinking in terms that, okay, maybe it needs to be a full-time job, but where do we develop? What do we do?
well, first you would start with the vacant businesses. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole reason why you would want a mayor to be full-time, so
Right.
that they are working to keep businesses occupied in spaces.
Economic development.
Hilltop Plaza.
Yes.
Yeah, economic development, period.
Well, that's what we need.
And I mean, that's
The mayor's
something.
putting in economic development division.
Yeah.
If we could find a way to get more people in the community to attend these meetings, then maybe some of that information could be conveyed to them while they're here. They wouldn't have to read it. But we can't get the people here because the community has been used to just having a few people, and you know that by the little room they stick us in all the time. That they don't expect no more people than, what, 15, 20 people? And they have to stop them in the middle of the meeting to move to another room. I don't understand why they built such a small room anyway for this community, for the people to gather together to find out what's happening with the city. I don't understand that.
They had the control.
Huh?
They had the control. They had the total control of the city, and they did what they damn well pleased.
Let me-
For that reason, the citizens never complained.
Let me just throw something at you real quick. I couldn't find it. In Lyndhurst, it's the term of the office of mayor. It just speaks of the office of the mayor. It doesn't have it as a full-time position or anything like that.
What is it?
So would it be in an ordinance or something?
Did
Could
you
that be an
find- what
ordinance?
is it?
Well, I did, but
Probably.
obviously my source
Huh?
is in a council
Probably
meeting.
an ordinance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could
Yeah.
be there, then that way, I mean,
So
then
I
Who-
will
who
make
writes
a
the
call
ordinance?
tomorrow.
City council.
the council.
But see,
I have a list at home, and I'm gonna get it out. And it is a list of every position in the city of Richmond Heights and what its status is, full-time or part-time. By the mayor, it states nothing,
Nothing. So that
okay?
means-
This got changed. This got changed when she got elected.
No, it
Which
was
goes
always
back-
part-time.
Huh?
It was always part-time.
But I
Yeah.
thought it was something about because of the
Part-time
adding
by
of the
who?
two jobs. Now, I'm not sure, but I thought the mayor was a part-time and the safety director was part-time, and combining the two made it a full-time job.
You're-
That was always my
Yeah.
impression as a resident.
You're speaking of the insurance.
No, I'm speaking
Count
of,
piece.
that
Health,
was,
health insurance
Yeah,
coverage.
and the fact is that insurance or the medical was always available to the previous mayor. He just did not elect to take it or utilize it
But that
because
insurance was available under the public safety director position, not the mayor position.
I'm not sure about that.
yeah,
I'm pretty
that was
sure.
always my understanding,
Okay.
because of the combining of the two
But I-
jobs made health care available. And there was something also, in order for it to change, like to change any salary or to change any benefit, that it had to be done
in your charter.
before it's in here, before the election,
30 or 60
Right,
days
and that-
before the first petition is turned in
for the election.
to
Yeah.
run as a candidate. And that's where they made their first mistake,
Yeah.
and that's where the law director sat mute and didn't say anything until finally they had to take it off the table, and then they took another avenue, and they ended up winning. And so now, our mayor does not have health care. But I do believe, if you are saying that the mayor's position is part-time,
it has been part-time.
I would like for you to
For-
show me in writing where it says it's part-time.
I can't show you in writing. I'm explaining to you what was explained to me after being a resident here for 28 years. I offered assistance to I was about to say Dr. Ursu, to Mayor Ursu. And I said, I asked his secretary, why can't I get a hold of this guy? Where is he?
yeah, you couldn't get over it.
And she says, well, the mayor's office is a part-time job. I said, are you kidding me?
I don't care what you're being told by somebody on the phone. I'm saying it needs to be stated somewhere, and if it's not,
Well, the council has already deliberated. And they're saying it's part-time. There's an ordinance on it.
Is it
In
written
the
somewhere?
charter, it's not written. We can't find
It's
it.
gotta be written.
not in the
Otherwise,
charter.
it's
It's not in the
ordinance.
It's not in the
It's
charter.
not in the
It's
charter.
I read everything
Can't-
under the mayor twice. It's not there.
It's not
Yeah.
here,
Well,
which
then
takes
what?
us back to
Well,
our
if
original
we're
stand was,
dealing-
Would it
We
be in
wanna
the
put it
ordinance
in here.
then? Maybe it's there.
I'm in agreement.
If we're dealing
There's
with
gotta be
the
something
around this
start
for the last
of the
20
term,
minutes.
we can deal with the mayor as a full-time position,
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
okay?
Yes.
All it has to say is,
Yes.
it'll become, as a result of this
Yes.
ordinance, or this
Yes.
charter amendment, it becomes a full-time job, and the term starts January 1st.
Okay.
And I would not include safety director or anything like that.
No, just the
No,
mayor.
Just the mayor's
Right,
job.
that's what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
On
yeah,
its
yeah.
own.
We're not talking about adding another job, we're talking
Yeah.
about giving her
It's-
full-time
on its own,
pay for
it's a
work.
full-time
Not
position.
her. We're
I
talking
mean,
about
the
giving
mayor.
the
The
mayor's
mayor's
of
job
the city.
of Richmond Heights,
You're
Right.
yes.
absolutely right.
Right.
I agree.
Gotta get away from that
Yeah.
stigma of addressing it her, but yeah, the mayor. 'Cause that's why we're here, to correct the problem for the city.
That's correct.
I'd be interested to hear what your council person says.
I'll find out.
And I will call a couple of the surrounding cities too. So at least we can have some data, okay? Just some data. What does Euclid look like? What does South Euclid? And then the two, the web search that I did, that the two cities that are most like Richmond Heights, believe it or not, with size and economics and all, was Lakewood and Bedford. So I will also call and see what are their, what are their.
I got
like
two
that.
neighbors. I got two neighbors, and one
Data's
ran
living.
for the
Data.
job of mayor. And I'm gonna ask him, when he was running, was it a full-time position? Because he said he ran a couple of times and he was defeated. So since he's been a resident for 40-some years, he might have some information that we can use, just to get an idea.
I've been a resident for like 21 years. It was always, and you know, I would come up with my kids with different things. It's been a part-time job.
Yeah.
But the mayor was a part-time job, but the safety director was also a part-time. So it was my understanding it was the combination of the two that was why the salary was what it was. And I mean, because even with the two salaries together, unless something has changed, who can work for $31,000 unless you are married to somebody really, this is like something you want to just do to really give back.
And then it says something about
You know?
American hold no other employment. So how are you supposed to live on $16,000?
No. It says that it's not compatible with
Oh,
the
okay.
job.
All right,
I mean, there's a different terminology. It doesn't say
thought-
that.
This is okay, certified by charter, mayor should not hold any public office or employment during the term which is
Incompatible with. the
Okay, I
job.
got you. I didn't get that far.
That's okay.
All right. I'm that far now.
That's like a state job or something.
Right.
County job.
Travel.
Can't hold to.
Okay.
All right. My next question is, they're having a meeting tonight. And I don't know whether you want to keep this meeting going for another hour, or whether you want to go see what's cooking in council and maybe putting in our 2 cents.
Well, through the chair, I would like to be excused because I plan to attend the meeting.
Okay.
Can we just finish this off? It's mostly done, but let's see.
So the oath of office.
Mayor's position, full-time, part-time, we talked about that.
Right.
All right. Oath of office.
That was because it was so broad on that when they try to remove somebody, there isn't any stipulation as to what the conditions are for removal other than criminal.
Okay.
They were talking about
But it's Article 15, Section
Section
6.
6.
That's oath of honor,
Yeah.
oath of office,
Yes.
Article 15.
section 6.
6.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we move that we adjourn?
I hear a motion that we adjourn.
I'll move that we
Excuse me.
adjourn.
Okay,
We don't have any
second?
public. We
Okay.
need to, public,
Yeah,
public input.
No problem.
We don't have any public.
yes, we do.
Oh,
Resident.
okay.
I'm doing a
He's
selfie.
resident.
Oh, okay.
I just-
And he is a resident
I'm
of
a
Richmond
resident.
Heights.
Yeah.
Say your name,
It's barely
say your
me.
name and where.
Yeah,
You're a
I
resident.
am Will Robinson. I'm a 22-year resident of Richmond Heights, proud of it. And I'm also the videographer, but I would just like to say just a couple quick things. First of all, I didn't know the venue was here. I was set up over there since 5:30. So I called Justin. I said, "Are you sure they having a meeting tonight?" So I apologize for being late because I was over in the caucus room. But
We're
sorry,
apologize.
we're sorry, that wasn't communicated.
okay, I just ran across
We're
the grass
sorry.
with my cameras and cords.
I saw you. I saw you. I saw you.
So I don't want you guys to think we were late because we take this very seriously. And number two, I have a question and a comment. The question is, I've been asked by the council president and others for a copy of the video for these hearings. And I have not been instructed by anyone to disperse of those copies of the video, and I edit them, I format them, they're available whenever we get the order for them to be uploaded to the web. But I would just like to know who is the custodian of the videos that we're doing for these.
The mayor.
The mayor.
The mayor, okay. I have been giving the mayor copies. I keep a copy, and I've been giving the mayor a copy. And that's because, you know, if I get hit by a bus, I want someone else other than us to have a copy of it. So then I'm under, what's my...
Nobody else can give you an order on anything.
It has to go through the mayor.
You gotta go to the mayor again.
Well-
Whatever you do because the mayor tells you to do it.
That's what I've been doing.
If
Okay,
anybody
very
else
good.
tells you to do something, forget
Okay,
it.
Well,
very good.
you do have the charter commission chair,
Right.
Right.
and we are separate of the mayor's office.
Right.
So he can tell you
Right.
exactly what to do with those.
Okay.
With those
Okay.
tapes.
Okay,
So
great.
until you hear from him
Or the
Okay.
mayor.
or the mayor,
Okay.
you're okay.
Okay,
You're
excellent.
fine.
All right, good.
Mm.
I just didn't want to be in a crossfire.
Yeah, and it happens that way.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
I understand where
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
in other words, you don't be caught under the bus, huh?
Right, absolutely. And then my last comment, I just want to say, I listen to some of the videos back sometimes when I'm formatted in, some of them I don't. But I would just, you know, as a resident, I like what you guys are doing. I am, you know, regarding the mayor, the language of the mayor full-time part, that's interesting because I represent other cities. I do IT work for other cities. And most of the other cities are, you know, smaller cities like this, and I hardly ever see the mayor. I mean, one of my clients is down the street. You know what city I'm talking about.
Mhm.
I don't think I've seen the mayor in as long as I've been there, and that's pretty much representative of a lot of the cities. So I think it's probably commonplace that maybe they don't call themselves part-time, you know, maybe the language is fuzzy or non-existent, but it seems like it's a part-time gig from the standpoint that I just don't see a lot of mayors.
Mm.
So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it tends to be a prevalent thing for smaller communities, villages, townships, where there's just part-time staff. So I think knowing the mayor that we have, since I work with her closely, I agree with Mr. Crocker. She's always here, and it's just amazing the hours that she puts in, because, you know, I think I work a lot of hours. I see her van here all the time, day or night, going up and down Highland Road. So my hat is off to her effort, and I'm very, very supportive of the efforts, of you guys' efforts, and the efforts of the administration, because I think they're really trying to do a good job and really trying to move our city in the right direction.
Great.
So that's just my little vote.
Wow, that was
Thank you.
great, yeah,
We needed that.
I think.
Now you can turn the tape back on.
You really need to send a letter to the editor of the Plain Dealer saying.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, like
or
that.
Cleveland.com.
Or Cleveland.
Same thing, right. That's a very good point, and I will.
Because the mayor does need help,
Right,
you know.
right,
And we're not able to do that.
Yeah.
right,
It's not our job,
right,
so we can't do that, but you
Right.
can as an individual.
Mr.
right.
Chairman, can I ask one more question before we adjourn?
Sure.
Stephanie, last meeting or 2 meetings ago, Council President asked about the minutes of the meeting, and you told them they were available at any time. Is he?
No, he has not.
Make a note.
He haven't asked for it.
that-
He
He
made a
has
statement.
never asked.
He just
No.
made a statement.
Yeah, a blanket statement.
Why don't you
yeah.
make a note that was brought up at the meeting tonight,
Okay.
and that he has never asked for those, even though he commented on them, he has never asked for them.
And I believe in the meeting where that request was made, statement was made, there was a clear response from the secretary.
From Stephanie.
Everyone, very
Was it
clear, it was very
Very
clear
clear.
that no
It was
formal
extremely clear.
requests had been made. It was very clear.
Yeah, there was no disagreement on that.
Resounding on my ears.
Yeah, I was sitting next to her, I heard it just a little bit.
Matter of fact, I started giving them a copy.
Wait, here.
One other thing, my apologies for not recognizing people who wear hats.
Okay.
That's a mean hat, though. I tell you, I like that.
But
That's
you know
good.
what, through the interest of time, I would like for us, I mean, we had planned to be here. Can we as a
We
united
got the
front
motion
go
on the
over?
floor. All in favor of the motion to
Well, that
adjourn?
meeting started at 6.
Aye.
Aye, aye.
All right.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
That meeting
Meeting
started
is-
at 6:30.
Meeting will be.
We'll make a